Hello to you, my gorgeous soul, and welcome back to a brand new, fresh season of the Empowered by Ems podcast. Pew, 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 pew. I am just so excited to be here. And in case you haven't heard, the podcast has gone video. We have gone, ultra digital, if you will. So you can now officially catch podcast episodes where you can see me, look at me. If you like that version of the podcast, you can officially catch it on my YouTube channel. There's a whole playlist that I'm putting together where I will be putting all of the episodes that are going to be coming up. And I'm so excited to be back, my friends. I have missed creating podcasts. I absolutely enjoy and love the longer form of content. In case you can't tell from my YouTube videos, now that I'm back on YouTube, before I used to really want to edit myself and be like, okay, let me keep the video 15 minutes long. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just creating, and it feels so good to create from such a flow, free place and state. And I'm just loving it. So I'm milking it for while it lasts because you just never know, huh? You never freaking know. But I am committed to creating content for YouTube through for the entire year this year, because I believe that if I do it for 1 year, and also with turning my podcast into a vodcast, it's something I've been wanting to do, but I've been scared and I've been like, it's going to be so much work, much more admin. But you know what? I'm like, I just cannot sleep on myself. And today's episode is going to be really the embodiment of me not sleeping on myself, because I'm going to be sharing what my 2024 ins and outs are for the year. So, last year, towards the end of last year, I actually came back to the podcast after I got married. I took a break to get married. Then I came back. And then I took another break because I honestly just felt called to pause. I felt called to stop creating podcast episodes because I was creating from a place of, oh no, I got to put something out. I got to be out there. I got to do stuff. And the moment I venture over into that avenue, I just know it's time for me to cut, pause, take a break, put down the pen, put down the mic, like just let it go. And I'm glad that I did. And within that period as well was the time that I went to Vipassana, and my 10-day silent meditation experience is one that has completely changed my life and continues to change my life as I integrate everything that came up for me during that time. And I actually have a whole YouTube series dedicated to my Vipassana experience, so I encourage you to go check it out. I'm going to leave the link in the show notes. It's about 2 or 3 videos where I'm just sharing what the experience was like. And honestly, it's an experience that I would highly recommend to anybody to do at least once in their lifetime, to take a break from life, to put down your phone, to disconnect from books and all of the distractions, and to come back home to yourself and to tune in and to really get to know yourself from a completely different light. So now today we are back, my friends. We are back. We are back with a new season, and I'm so excited to be here. You can expect content featuring guest episodes, featuring solo episodes like I used to, just going on, sharing what's on my heart and what I'm learning and what I'm moving through in the moment. I'm honestly really excited to be back and to have turned this into a vodcast as well. So let me know what you think. If you are tuning in on YouTube, I want you to drop in the comments and let me know, what do you guys think of this new wave, this new version of the Empowered by Ems podcast? Are you enjoying it? Are you going to be tuning into future episodes? And what are you excited to see? And if you are listening to me on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts or wherever you stream your podcast, then let me know. Drop me a DM on Instagram. I really want to connect with more of you, because building and growing a little community space has always been a dream of mine. It's always been something that's been close to my heart, especially when I saw how much healing and how much empowerment I got from surrounding myself with a community of like-minded individuals on a similar journey to learn, to heal, to grow, to do and be all the things. So let me dive into today's specific episode topic before I get rambling, because y'all know I am fully well and capable of doing that. So, like I mentioned, we're going to be exploring my 2024 ins and outs for the year. I absolutely loved this trend. I was like, yes, I need to hop on that. And when I was making my list, I realized that it's actually pretty much like your vision board. If you do it right, it really should translate to what you've put on your vision board, or it could. Let me not say should, because I'm not trying to should anybody into anything. But it really connected to my vision board for me, which let me grab it for y'all on YouTube. I created my vision board like about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and I'm so obsessed with it. I love it. It's so pretty. And I knew I did the right thing with how I created it when I felt so excited when I was done. And that's exactly how you're supposed to be feeling when it comes to your vision board. It shouldn't just be a bunch of random images that when you look at you're just like kind of disconnected from. You have to connect with it. It has to evoke emotion in you, make you feel excited, make you passionate about what it is you're calling in. So that's just my little nugget on vision boarding. And if you would like me to do a full episode on creating your vision, crafting your vision, working towards your vision, let me know. Let your girl know. DM me or drop it in the comments if you're watching on the tube. I love saying that. So let's begin, because I got some things to get through, but I'm definitely going to cut some things out because it's not that deep. And I want to keep it cute here. Okay, I want to keep it cute. So limiting alcohol consumption is the number one thing on my list. And I want to be really candid about this because I have mentioned this before on the podcast before I completely deleted all my previous episodes that I had a compulsion when it came to alcohol. I had this unconscious compulsion. It had become this habit. I would literally find myself every Friday, like clockwork, going to the grocery store and buying a 6-pack of beer. Beer is my drink of choice. You wine lovers, great for you. I'm a beer girl. And sometimes I wouldn't even want to drink it, but it was so ingrained into my habitual routine of the week that I was like, what is actually happening? So I took a step back. I looked at myself one day as I was at the store reaching for the 6-pack, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, I don't even want this. And then that's when I became aware to it. And immediately things started to shift for me. I also worked with subliminal audios to help me rewire and release any unconscious patterning that there might be about drinking. It is something that growing up, I got the messaging of like, oh my God, don't drink. There are people who are alcoholics in the family. It's this dangerous thing. Stay away, stay away. And obviously that just makes the kid want to drink even more. So definitely as a teenager, I started drinking way too early. And then I just never stopped. And it was just like a part of me. I don't know how the heck I have been somebody who was all about exercise and health and wealth when I was like, basically, like, it's not like I was an alcoholic, but you know what I mean? Like I would more on more than one occasion have a drink, and it was just like very habitual in this way that it's like, girl, what you doing? So it became something that I became aware of, and I'm glad that I have gotten myself to a point now where I am very comfortable not drinking at all for like a long period of time. And going to Vipassana was actually one of the ways that I didn't think about drinking at all. I didn't think about drinking, and I didn't think about my other vice that I'm not going to mention. But I didn't think about those things because I was just with me, and it felt so good to be with me, in me, doing me, by myself. I didn't have anything to think about other than me. So it was just very freeing. And when I came back, I was like, oh, wow, this is so weird. Like, and I felt a deeper, more conscious control over it. And so now I am a very conscious consumer of alcohol. And when I've had enough, I can feel it. I know it. I stop. change to water, and I proceed actually to cure my hangover. I proceed to act like I already have a hangover when I'm done drinking, because I'm like, why wait for the nastiness? So I'll take my vitamins, I'll drink some water with Himalayan pink salt. I will like really try and give my system what it needs so that my body can do what it needs to do in order to help me recover. So even with your alcohol consumption, it's important to be smart about it. Don't just like get drunk and then like not drink water. like and then be surprised that you're feeling so terrible the next day, because that's what alcohol is. It is essentially poison. It is a toxin. So consume it mindfully. Eating more fruits and vegetables is the other thing on my list. And I was kind of like vegetable and fruit averse. I don't know where it came from. Maybe it's still programmed from childhood, but I just kind of ate what I liked. And I never really liked to venture outside of any other fruits and vegetables that I don't know, which was very Gwenny behavior now that I think about it. Like, really? What were you doing? So I would legit eat more or less the same stuff. And going to Vipassana helped me snap out of that as well. During those 10 days, we ate so many vegetables and fruits. We were on a strictly vegetarian diet. So it was an experience that really allowed my body to reset, my palate to reset. And I came back like just really loving fruits and wanting to eat them all. So it's become much easier. So thank you, universe. Like that manifestation already came through, because it's really not a struggle for me. It's not something I have to like be like, eat the broccoli. Like I love it. Giving more compliments. That's my next thing on my list. Giving more compliments, because for a while I really struggled to receive, let alone give compliments. It's really hard for you to give out compliments if you struggle to receive them for yourself, right? You're not going to be able to give them so freely. So I would give them. It's not like there was dololo, but it was just it was very controlled and almost like, oh no, I don't want to like be too nice or, be too out there, or just like, especially with strangers, sometimes you're like, yeah, no, but I'm just like, that is who I am. I was just kind of keeping myself from it because I was scared of how people would receive me, what it would mean, would they like me? I mean, honestly, our inner child healing, I feel like, is a lifelong journey. Inner child, inner teenager. Let's not forget the inner teenager when we're talking about healing various parts of ourselves, because our inner teenager is really the part of us that was the one that was binge drinking or jumping from relationship to relationship. It was not our inner child. So it's important that we go back and also reparent that inner teen within us and let that side of us know that, listen, girl, thank you. I love you. And you can go now, right? You don't have to keep fighting. You don't have to keep fighting for approval, for acceptance. It's okay. You are safe. We are safe, so that the adult version of you can do what needs to be done and move yourself forward and not get caught up in weird self-sabotaging behavior that you can't quite pinpoint where it comes from. So inner teenager healing. I think I'll do a separate episode on that. Give this video a thumbs up if you would love to see that episode on inner teenager healing. And let me know by sharing this podcast episode if you would like to see that episode on inner teenager healing. The next thing that I have on my list is extending more grace to others for their humanness. Used to, and I am unlearning, like judging people so harshly, or like expecting so much and then being so disappointed, like outwardly, with somebody when they don't meet my expectations. Like, who am I to set expectations for people? First of all, like, can I just like let people be? So I have come to that realization that everybody is on their own unique individual journey, has their own unique individual trauma and thoughts and habits that they have to work through. So me judging or me being impatient with people is just not helping them like heal and grow and be great. It's better for me to extend grace, for me to pause and breathe and create space so that I also am able to see myself and not react. That was the other thing on my list, being less reactive. So creating that pause and space, which meditation really teaches you how to do so beautifully, is something that I really want to lean on more throughout this year and just allow people to like explore things for themselves, to learn on their own, to journey for themselves and not like be like trying to, you know what I mean? Being Mrs. Fix It, really. That's what it is. The next thing I have on my list here is embracing who I am, what I stand for, and my unique purpose, my unique impact that I am setting out to create in the world, the legacy that I want to live, how I want to be remembered, how I want people to think about me when, like, I feel when they think about me, like those things. For a while, this is also tied to my fear of being seen and healing my inner child and continuing to journey with her is really allowing myself to be seen as somebody who is great, not just seen because we all seen, right? But somebody who is great and who is doing great things in the world and who is leaving impact and who is really creating a positive change. That has been scaring me. And I have realized this is going to tie into my next point that I have on my list. I have realized that my fear of being seen was keeping me from really making the progress that I wanted in the gym. Believe it or not, guys, these things manifest in the weirdest ways. Like, it's so freaking weird. So this clicked for me like today. And I was like, wow, oh, that's what that was. Like, I never wanted to make extreme progress and like build the body that I wanted, like, or even fixate on a body goal that I wanted to look like the muscle, get a nice booty, juicy, like get some nice shoulders, like really build the muscle in the body that I wanted because I have a desire in my head, right? But I had been unconsciously self-sabotaging for the past 3 some years and getting injuries and getting knee pains, like getting these weird things that would as just as I was about to make progress, I would get an injury. And then I would stop because I'd be like, well, I need a rest. And then it would happen again. Guys, I'm telling you, this was a cycle. Now that I look back, I'm like, whoa, what the hell was going on? I'm almost ashamed of how I was so blind to it, but shame does nothing. So I'm going to release her. She does nothing for me. In terms of helping me do something about this. So I was just so glad that I was like, oh my God, it clicked. And I'm like, this makes so much sense. Like, I don't want to be seen. So like my inner child is like self-sabotaging my gains. She's like, no, girl, no, let's keep you right here. And now that I am I don't know what clicked in my mind, but I just literally when the year started, I put the pedal to the metal, head down. I am eating, I am working out, I am committed to moving my body on a daily basis, whatever that looks like. I have, completely busted through the limits I used to put on myself in terms of what a workout looked like. I used to think that, oh no, I only needed to go to the gym and like do this and do this and do this. And then it's a workout. I can't just go for a walk. I can't just go for a hike. I can't just do yoga. So I always felt like I needed to do more and more and more and more. And that's literally the opposite of what I preach to my clients. So a bit hypocritical there, but I was definitely learning through experience. And I share so honestly so that y'all can see, listen, girl, ain't nobody had this thing figured out. Like, we are all figuring this thing out together. We are all learning together. We are all growing together. And it's such a beautiful thing to be so human and open about this. And I will never stop sharing so honestly about what I'm moving through and what I'm going through. So now that I've come to that realization, I'm really excited to see the kind of physique that I can build. I'm excited to see the kind of strength that I can build over time as well, because I've always had these strength goals, what I want to squat, what I want to deadlift, what I want to bench press, what I want to shoulder press, all these things. So I really want to take myself there and just allow myself to go there, even though it's so freaking unknown. Maybe also because it was so unknown, I was like, I don't want to go there. But I just want to take myself there. And I'm so excited to see what this year is going to bring, because the more I solidify and ground into who I am as a trainer, who I am as a coach to me, I coach my clients 1,000% better. And if you're one of my clients and you're listening, I know you feel the energy shift in the kind of workouts and the kind of commitment that we are moving with this year. Because listen, it's time. It's time. It's time. So the next thing on my list before I wrap it up is making the introduction. Making the introduction first. I'm that person who, when I go to social events, sometimes I don't know, my anxiety, the social anxiety, hey, it comes through. She comes and she's like, and I just want to sit in a corner on my phone. And then I leave the event not having met anyone new, not having given anybody my business card or connected or received a business card, like nothing. It was like I wasn't even there. And I started being like, you know what, like we just can't keep living like this. So this year I'm being intentional about making the introduction, but in order for me to make the introduction, I've got to put myself in those spaces. So I've got to go to those events. I have a networking breakfast coming up that I'm very anxiously excited to go to, but luckily I know the speaker, so that's kind of grounding me a little bit. So I'm excited to go there. It's a women's breakfast. It's exactly the audience, my market, my community, people that I want in my space and in my energy. So I'm really excited to go there and put myself out there, introduce myself to some people, get really uncomfortable and just do it anyway, because I know this is a part of me leveling up. It's a part of what I need to do. It's a part of what I need to overcome. And we all know, I feel like everybody listening here knows there's something on their hearts. There's something that they're not doing because they are scared, and they know it's going to take a different version of themselves in order for them to do that thing. It's time for you to become that version of you and do the thing. It's time to do the thing. Okay. I have so many good points. I actually wanted to go through them all, but I'm like trying to think of time, but I can't really see how long I've been talking, so that helps me. We're just gonna continue, and I'll close it off when it feels good to do so. Um, the next thing I have on my list is it's actually perfect. I'm right at the end, or I've wrapped up everything else that I wanted to say in the other previous points, so it's actually really perfect. The last thing I wanted to touch on is meditating every day. Is bringing my butt to this mat, to this pillow, and sitting and meditating, whether I want to or not. Most times I feel really good, like 5 minutes in. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember why I do this. But I often don't want to go. It's just like exercise. I mean, it's just like exercise. I don't always want to work out, but 5, 10 minutes into it, maybe even just stretching, I remember how good it feels to move my body, to connect with myself, to quiet the outside world, to, focus on my thoughts, to tune in, to come home to myself. And it's actually kind of crazy to me that there are people out there who don't create this time, who don't have this time, who claim not to have this time. Let me not say who don't have this time, who claim not to have this time. Oh, I don't have enough time to take care of myself and sit with myself for 2 minutes. I don't have enough time to go to the mall and go to the spa, whatever it is. Like, taking care of yourself needs to be at the top of the list. And this is going to be one of the topics that I touch on with one of my guests, who we talk about self-care for moms and how we can reimagine what self-care looks like and what being a mother looks like in this day and age, in this today, and the importance of leaning on your community and asking for help. It's so important for us to learn how to take care of ourselves. And meditating is one of those ways that you can take care of your mind, your body, your spirit. Like every single part of your being gets touched, honey. When you meditate consistently, it does not matter how long you do it. I will do a completely different episode on just meditation because I'm absolutely deeply in love and passionate about meditating. And it's always been something that's been like knocking on me. And when I find like modalities like that, when I find practices like that that are like, I'm interested in this, I just lean into it. So if meditating is calling you, lean into it. Even if right now it looks like, what the heck am I even doing? I'm just laying on the floor here, or I need a guided meditation. Whatever it looks like, lean into it and give it a shot, because over time it will change. Over time, as you change, your practice will change. Because I started laying on my bed with my eyes closed and being with a guided meditation. And now I sit in silence. I couldn't never imagine myself sitting when I first started meditating. No lie. I was like, heck no, I ain't sitting. And now I love it. I love to sit as long as I have my cushions and I'm able to use my yoga blocks to make sure that my spine is nice and straight. There's actually so much peace when you sit and meditate. It is unmatched. So it's something I highly recommend. But let your practice begin from where you are, instead of just keeping yourself out of the game and saying, oh, yeah, I want to try meditating, or oh, yeah, it's something I used to do. Come back to it. Come back to the practice. My loves, you will learn over time that when it comes to these practices, there is no ending. Exercising, when does it end? You never stop. Once you fully start and you commit yourself to exercising, just know that you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life. Like, that's what it is. And it's the same with these practices, with the journaling, with the meditating, with the processing your emotions, with the standing up for your boundaries. This is something you're going to need to continue to come back to and come back to and come back to. And then eventually it just becomes a habit, which is lovely, right? To have meditating programmed as a habit. I think I'm slowly venturing into that direction. Some days I'm like, didn't meditate. Most mornings, I try to get it done most mornings, but if I don't manage to get it done in the morning, an afternoon meditation. Yesterday, I meditated at night, and that was really nice. It just put me in such a nice, peaceful state to just go to bed. So let your practice be what your practice is. Okay, my loves? I hope you're taking notes. We have come to the end of this opening introductory episode. And I don't think I need to say what the outs are, because they are the exact opposite. And I think I've touched on them as well throughout the course of this episode. And I'm really excited to be back. I'm excited to be creating for you guys again. Let me know what you thought of this episode. What were some of the things that stuck out for you? Were some of my ins also your ins? Like, let me know. Let's have a chat in the comment section on YouTube. And feel free to drop me a DM on Instagram. I'm going to leave all of my links in the show notes. So pop your girl a DM. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Feel free to share it with a friend. I always encourage that. And let them know that the Empowered by Ems podcast is here for them, here for their growth, their mental, their spiritual, their emotional, their physical, everything. Okay? We're gonna wrap it all up in a tiny, beautiful bow, and we're gonna call it our beautiful sisterhood community space. So, I spilled a little bit of tea there. Actually, what am I saying? I spilled tea. But on the day that this podcast episode goes live will also be the day that my sisterhood community space will launch. So, oh my goodness. You can also find that link in the show notes. It is my community space, our community space that I want us all to co-create, but I will be hosting you in that community space and sharing things related to fitness, to nutrition, to mindset, to energy healing, breath work, manifestation, yoga. I mean, there's just nothing that you just won't find in this community space. And I'm so excited to offer it to you guys, to create a space where we can all come together and meet and learn and share and connect. It's like our own little Facebook group or Facebook app, Facebook community that will have its own little app. And I'm really excited to just connect with you guys there. If you know me, you know that I have a lot to say. If you listen to this podcast, you know that I have a lot to say. So, having this community space will be really a place where I can go in there, share what's on my mind, share an inspiration, a download that just came through, share an update about an upcoming workshop or program or coaching opportunity that might come up, or a giveaway, or whatever it is, or a resource. Like, you can expect anything and everything to be in that community space. And I am so excited to invite you, to officially invite and welcome you into this space so that we can journey together, so that we can learn together, so that we can grow together. And I am calling all of my founding members to come through. And you know you're a founding member if you just heard me say founding member and you're like, that's me. I'm in. I'm within. My founding members are going to be the first 50 people who join the community. And you guys are going to get an exclusive, special discount for the community space, right? So I'm so excited. I'm not going to spill any more tea. I'm going to allow you guys to click through, find the link in the show notes, get yourself inside, and I cannot wait to welcome you. All right, my love. See you in the next episode.